Some machines transcend their purpose. They become symbols of the era that built them. Every generation has one design that captures its nation's character and confidence, blending technology and artistry into something that feels alive. Picture a time when progress meant optimism, when cars were more than transport. They were sculpted visions of the future rolling through the streets. This story is about one of those rare creations. A car that seemed to hover above the road, that turned motion into theater, that made even silence feel like luxury. It embodied refinement without arrogance, innovation without noise, and elegance that could only come from one country where design is an act of culture. Before we open its doors and explore how it redefined beauty, take a moment to like this video, subscribe for more stories of automotive genius, and tell us in the comments which legend you want covered next. The Citroen DS21 Cabriolet 1968 began as a statement of ambition. It was not content to be a conventional convertible. Citroen had already stunned the world with the DS sedan in 1955, a car that looked like a sculpture on wheels and drove like nothing else on the road. But by 1968, the company wanted to create something even more exclusive, something that would capture the sophistication of the French Riviera and the glamour of Parisian design. The DS21 Cabriolet was that creation, a seamless union of avant-garde engineering and handcrafted luxury that positioned France as a true rival to the most celebrated luxury brands of Europe. It arrived in an era of optimism, a time when travel and fashion were transforming into lifestyle statements. France was asserting its cultural influence, from couture to cinema to automotive design. The DS21 Cabriolet embodied that confidence. It was a car that refused to follow trends, instead creating its own definition of grace. The foundation of the DS line was radical. From the beginning, Citroën built its reputation on challenging mechanical conventions. The DS sedan introduced innovations that reshaped automotive engineering. Front-wheel drive for stability and traction, disc brakes for superior stopping power, and the famous hydropneumatic suspension that used pressurized fluid to deliver a ride so smooth it felt like flight. These were not small improvements. They redefined what comfort could mean in a car. The Cabriolet took these technologies and wrapped them in the romance of open-air motoring. For Citroën, this was a bold gamble. Building a convertible meant cutting away structural strength, which risked the very stability that made the DS so advanced. But Citroën partnered with master coach builder Henri Chaperon, a craftsman from Levallois-Perret, whose workshop was known for turning steel into sculpture. Chaperon had already been customizing DS models for private clients. Now, he would create an official factory-sanctioned version that preserved Citroën's engineering integrity while elevating its aesthetic refinement. Each Citroën DS21 Cabriolet was assembled by hand. Chaperon's team would receive a partially completed DS chassis from Citroën, reinforce it, and then sculpt a unique two-door body from scratch. This process was slow, meticulous, and expensive. Every panel was adjusted by eye, every curve tested for harmony. It was a collaboration that bridged two worlds, industrial precision and artistic craftsmanship. Unlike many convertibles of its time, the DS21 Cabriolet did not seek to be sporty. It sought serenity. Its long, fluid lines flowed uninterrupted from the front fenders to the tail, accentuated by subtle chrome detailing. The roofline, when raised, maintained the car's silhouette instead of breaking it. When lowered, the cabin opened like a grand terrace. Inside, the materials were as elegant as the design. Plush leather, finely stitched, covered wide seats that floated on the hydropneumatic suspension. The dashboard was a lesson in simplicity and innovation, featuring Citroën's signature single-spoke steering wheel and controls arranged for effortless use. Driving the Citroën DS21 Cabriolet 1968 was an experience unlike any other. The car seemed to glide, its suspension neutralizing imperfections in the road with uncanny precision. At a time when most convertibles sacrificed comfort for style, the DS21 Cabriolet offered both. The combination of hydraulic steering, self-leveling suspension, and a semi-automatic gearbox gave it a character that was almost ethereal. It was as if the car anticipated the driver's intent, translating motion into a kind of mechanical poetry. This was not performance in the traditional sense. It was composure. Citroën understood that luxury was not about excess power but about effortlessness. Still, the DS21 Cabriolet was no slouch. Its 2.1-liter inline-4 engine, Equipped with advanced fuel delivery for its time, delivered ample torque and smooth acceleration. The car's aerodynamics, inherited from the sedan, allowed it to cruise efficiently at high speeds. It was designed not for racetracks but for open roads, where its grace could unfold naturally. The 1960s were a golden age for European design, and the DS21 Cabriolet fit perfectly within that aesthetic movement. While other manufacturers emphasized chrome and sharp edges, Citroën pursued organic form. Every curve had purpose. Every surface reflected light with intention. It was a study in minimalism long before minimalism became fashionable. The DS21 Cabriolet 1968 was not just a vehicle. It was an interpretation of French identity. It combined intellectual curiosity with emotional expression, scientific progress with artistic confidence. To drive one was to make a statement about taste and individuality. And yet, despite its elegance, it was not ostentatious. It carried itself with quiet authority, a trait that set it apart from the louder luxury cars of the decade. Buyers were discerning individuals, architects, designers, actors, people who understood that true sophistication never needs to shout. This rarefied character came at a price. The DS21 Cabriolet cost significantly more than its sedan counterpart and far exceeded the budgets of average buyers. Production numbers remained low. Only a few hundred units were built between 1961 and 1971, with a 1968 model representing the mature form of the design. Each car was essentially bespoke, varying slightly in trim and detail depending on the owner's request. As a result, no two DS21 Cabriolets were entirely identical. The rarity of the Citroën DS21 Cabriolet 1968 made it a symbol of exclusivity. It was a car you might see gliding through the boulevards of Cannes or parked outside a Parisian hotel, its chrome glinting softly in the afternoon light. It was more than transportation. It was theater, a stage upon which the driver played a role of effortless grace. The car's serenity was almost cinematic. Even standing still, it suggested motion, as if the air around it were waiting to part. In an age obsessed with the space race and technological optimism, the DS21 Cabriolet felt like a terrestrial spacecraft, designed not to conquer speed but to elevate experience. Its appearance at events and exhibitions solidified its status as a cultural icon. Fashion magazines featured it beside haute couture collections. Photographers captured it against the French Riviera's horizon. It was as photogenic as it was functional. Yet beneath that glamour lay genuine innovation. Citroën's engineers approached every challenge scientifically, from the distribution of weight to the dynamics of airflow. The Cabriolet's structure was reinforced using advanced techniques for its era, ensuring that its ride quality matched that of the sedan. The integration of Citroen's bodywork with Citroën's hydraulics was seamless, a union of art and engineering so complete it seemed inevitable. But it was not inevitable at all. It was the result of obsessive refinement. The Citroën DS21 Cabriolet 1968 represented the culmination of years of experimentation and perfectionism. It was a product of patience and vision, qualities that define the best of French industrial design. Even today, looking at one evokes a sense of wonder. It reminds us that innovation need not be loud, that progress can be beautiful. This was a car that taught the world something subtle yet profound. The Citroën DS21 Cabriolet 1968 did not emerge from isolation. It was shaped by its era, by social change, and by the evolution of French design philosophy. To understand its deeper significance, one must see how Citroën's ideals converged with Citroen's artistry, and how that union reflected a broader cultural narrative. By the late 1960s, Europe was transforming. The post-war recovery had matured into an age of experimentation and confidence. France, in particular, had found a voice that merged modern technology with timeless beauty. The DS21 Cabriolet was the embodiment of that philosophy. It demonstrated that engineering could serve emotion rather than dominate it. Citroën had always been an outsider among carmakers. Its engineers approached problems like scientists and sculptors combined. They believed that progress was not about imitation but invention. This mindset had produced the DS line, and it reached its aesthetic peak in the Cabriolet. Henri Chaperon, working from his modest atelier in Levallois-Perret, became Citroën's perfect counterpart. His experience building custom-bodied luxury cars for elite clients gave him an instinct for elegance that mass production could never replicate. Citroen understood proportion, light, and the emotional weight of form. When Citroen asked him to turn the DS into a convertible, he did not simply remove the roof. He reimagined the car's entire personality. The resulting Citroen DS21 Cabriolet 1968 balanced strength with delicacy. Its bodywork flowed seamlessly, its stance low yet confident, as if aware of its own refinement. The structural reinforcements hidden beneath the panels maintained rigidity without compromising the car's signature ride. This was not a compromise, but a synthesis. Every adjustment was tested to ensure that the car would float as gracefully as its sedan sibling. Citroen was meticulous about the details. The door lines were recut, the rear deck extended, the trim hand-fitted. The paint was applied in multiple coats, each layer polished to a mirror finish. Inside, the craftsmanship was just as obsessive. Each seat was upholstered by hand, each seam checked for alignment. The result was a convertible that felt cohesive, not an afterthought or derivative. This was the essence of French luxury. Not about showing wealth but revealing taste. The Citroen DS21 Cabriolet 1968 arrived at a time when the automotive world was chasing different ideals. Many manufacturers emphasized horsepower and aggressive styling. Citroen pursued serenity. Its goal was to create an atmosphere of calm and control. The car's hydro-pneumatic suspension automatically adjusted ride height and absorbed road imperfections so effectively that passengers could barely feel the surface beneath them. This technology, far ahead of its time, made every journey feel like gliding through air. It was a scientific approach to comfort, executed with artistic sensitivity. Under the hood, the DS21 Cabriolet used a 2,175 cubic centimeters inline-4 engine with advanced features such as a semi-automatic hydraulic gearbox that eliminated the clutch pedal. The system might seem complex today, but it was designed to simplify driving. The car did not need to shout its capability. It expressed it quietly, through consistency and poise. Even the steering was self-centering and power-assisted, giving the sensation that the car was guiding itself down the road. Such refinement reflected Citroen's belief that innovation should enhance the human experience rather than dominate it. The design of the DS21 Cabriolet was equally forward-thinking. Its aerodynamic silhouette had been wind tunnel tested when few manufacturers even considered airflow. The front end, with its tapered nose and enclosed wheels, minimized drag while creating a visual sense of motion. The headlights, housed under glass covers, gave it a distinctive gaze that seemed intelligent and composed. In later years, some versions even featured directional headlights that turned with the steering wheel, an innovation that anticipated modern adaptive lighting systems. Every feature had a purpose, and every curve was calculated for harmony. Yet the Citroen DS21 Cabriolet 1968 was not merely a technological showcase. It was an emotional object. Its appeal lay in how it made people feel. To sit inside was to enter a space of tranquility, where mechanical noise faded into background rhythm. To look at it was to understand how elegance could be both futuristic and humane. Owners described it not as a machine but as a companion, one that moved with grace and intelligence. The car became a symbol of personal expression, favored by creative individuals who valued originality. Citroen's involvement ensured that each cabriolet retained a human touch, a fingerprint of its maker. In an age moving rapidly toward automation, that sense of individuality became part of its charm. The rarity of the DS21 Cabriolet amplified its mystique. While Citroën produced hundreds of thousands of DS sedans, only a few hundred cabriolets left Citroën's workshop. This limited output was not a marketing tactic but a natural result of the labor-intensive process. Each car took weeks to complete, and no shortcuts were allowed. This exclusivity turned the DS21 Cabriolet into a collectible even during its production years. It was admired not only in France but across Europe and the United States, where it represented an exotic alternative to traditional luxury convertibles. It carried a subtle defiance, proof that innovation and tradition could coexist. The Citroën DS21 Cabriolet 1968 also marked a pivotal moment in automotive history. It demonstrated how collaboration between an industrial manufacturer and an independent artisan could produce something greater than either could achieve alone. The partnership between Citroen and Cabriolet blurred the line between factory production and custom craftsmanship. It proved that large-scale innovation could still retain soul. In many ways, the DS21 Cabriolet became the blueprint for future collaborations between automakers and design houses. Its success showed that a car could be both technically advanced and emotionally resonant. As the decade progressed, the DS21 Cabriolet stood as a quiet contrast to the louder, more aggressive cars emerging from other manufacturers. It was a reminder that sophistication was not about dominance but about refinement. The car embodied the rhythm of France itself. Measured, graceful, and eternally curious. It spoke to those who believed that progress should serve beauty. The Citroen DS21 Cabriolet 1968 therefore became more than a collector's dream. It became a design philosophy in motion. Its influence can be traced in modern French and European automotive design, where emphasis on comfort, aesthetics, and individuality continues to define national character. The car's legacy lies not just in museums or private collections but in the values it expressed. Innovation guided by elegance, technology humanized by design, and ambition balanced by restraint. The DS21 Cabriolet remains one of the clearest examples of how engineering and art can share a single purpose: to make life not only easier but more beautiful. The Citroen DS21 Cabriolet 1968 stands today as more than a piece of automotive history. It is a lens through which we can understand the evolution of design, culture, and ambition. Its story did not end in the decade of its birth. It continued to influence generations of designers, engineers, and collectors who saw in it the purest expression of innovation meeting artistry. To appreciate its legacy, one must look beyond its specifications and consider what it represented in its time and what it continues to signify now. In 1968, the world was changing rapidly. France was at the forefront of cultural and social transformation, and the Citroën DS21 Cabriolet captured that spirit of modernity. It reflected a nation confident in its identity, one that saw no conflict between technology and beauty. The car symbolized a worldview that believed progress could be elegant, that comfort could be as meaningful as speed. It embodied optimism, a belief that the future could be not only functional but also inspiring. The rarity of the DS21 Cabriolet made it an instant classic. Even as production ended, its legend grew. Collectors recognized it as a symbol of craftsmanship in an era moving toward mass production. Each surviving example became a treasure, its value not just financial but cultural. Owning one meant possessing a fragment of a time when engineering still had a human hand and artistry still had mechanical precision. The Citroën DS21 Cabriolet 1968 became an ambassador of a vanished world, a reminder that luxury once meant patience and imagination. Its influence extended beyond cars. Designers in other industries studied its proportions, its restraint, its seamless integration of function and form. The balance it achieved between innovation and emotion inspired architects, furniture designers, and even fashion creators. The car became a metaphor for a broader design principle, that true elegance is not excess but clarity. Every detail of the DS21 Cabriolet expressed intention. The smooth curvature of the body, the understated ornamentation, the visual balance between mass and lightness. These qualities formed a language that continues to resonate in contemporary design. Modern vehicles that prioritize comfort, refinement, and visual purity owe a debt to this philosophy. Citroën itself has referenced the DS21 Cabriolet as an enduring influence. Concepts like the DS Divine and DS carry forward the legacy of combining bold technology with sculptural form. These modern interpretations pay homage to the spirit of the original while adapting it to new materials and electric powertrains. The lineage is unmistakable. The DNA of the DS21 Cabriolet 1968 remains alive in each new generation that dares to merge science with poetry. For collectors and enthusiasts, the car represents something rarer than mere nostalgia. It is a living artifact that still performs as beautifully as it looks. To drive one today is to experience a level of refinement that rivals many modern cars. The hydro-pneumatic suspension continues to amaze, the steering still precise, the ride still impossibly smooth. Every movement feels deliberate, as though the car and driver are engaged in a quiet dialogue. This timeless quality has cemented the DS21 Cabriolet as one of the most coveted classics in the world. Auction results reflect this reverence. with pristine examples commanding prices once reserved for the most prestigious marques. Yet the car's worth cannot be measured in currency alone. It holds emotional value, connecting people to an age when creativity and curiosity defined engineering. It stands as proof that progress can be graceful. The Citroen DS21 Cabriolet 1968 also serves as a cultural touchstone. It appears in films, art exhibitions, and design retrospectives as an emblem of French ingenuity. Its presence evokes not just the glamour of the 1960s, but also the enduring belief in beauty as a form of progress. Even those unfamiliar with automotive history can appreciate its form. It transcends function to become pure aesthetic experience. The Cabriolet's continued relevance highlights a truth about design: that authenticity never fades. In an industry often driven by trends, the DS21 Cabriolet remains immune to obsolescence. Its proportions and materials still feel modern because they were guided by principles, not fashion. This integrity has allowed it to endure while countless contemporaries have become mere relics. Its lasting impact is a testament to the vision of the people who built it. Engineers and artisans united by a shared pursuit of perfection. When viewed alongside today's innovations, the Citroen DS21 Cabriolet 1968 reminds us that technology is most powerful when it serves emotion. In an era of electric propulsion and digital design, the Cabriolet stands as a quiet benchmark. It challenges modern creators to balance efficiency with soul, performance with personality. It whispers a message across time: that progress without beauty is incomplete. The DS21 Cabriolet has become more than an icon. It is a philosophy rendered in metal and leather. It teaches that luxury lies not in complexity, but in harmony. It teaches that true innovation is not about changing everything, but about perfecting what matters. These lessons continue to inspire those who see cars as more than machines. They see them as expressions of culture, and in that sense, the Citroen DS21 Cabriolet 1968 remains unmatched. Its beauty has not faded. Its ideas have not aged. It endures as a masterpiece of proportion, function, and imagination. A testament to what happens when a nation's artistry meets its engineering genius. The Citroen DS21 Cabriolet 1968 endures as a timeless artifact, not because of nostalgia, but because it represents a standard of imagination and integrity that modern machines still strive to achieve. When Citroën and Henri Chaperon collaborated, they created more than a convertible. They captured the essence of an era that believed technology could serve beauty without compromise. The car's silhouette still commands silence, its lines still speak of balance, and its movement still conveys a sense of calm power. Every aspect of the DS21 Cabriolet reflects thought, intention, and restraint. It was never meant to impress through volume or spectacle. It impressed through harmony. That is why it remains relevant today, decades after its final production. Its hydro-pneumatic suspension, at the time a radical experiment, became a symbol of comfort through science. Its handcrafted body became proof that artistry and precision could coexist. The Citroen DS21 Cabriolet 1968 continues to teach that innovation is not measured by speed or complexity, but by the experience it creates for the human being behind the wheel. In a world of algorithms and automation, that lesson feels more urgent than ever. The car's influence continues to ripple outward. Designers studying proportion, architects exploring fluid form, and engineers seeking elegance and simplicity all find inspiration in its example. The DS21 Cabriolet is a reminder that beauty can be rational, that technology can evoke emotion, and that luxury can be sincere. Its story transcends time because it celebrates something universal: the human desire to move gracefully through the world. For those who have seen one in person, the memory lingers. The reflections on its chrome, the curve of its rear fender, the way the light plays across its body. All these details combine to create an impression that feels almost alive. The Citroen DS21 Cabriolet 1968 remains an ambassador of the belief that progress should always elevate, never overwhelm. Its legacy is written not only in history books or auction listings, but in the imagination of everyone who values design that endures. It reminds us that true masterpieces are not defined by their era, they define it. If the story of the DS21 Cabriolet tells us anything, it is that vision and courage can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. It stands as one of the clearest expressions of that truth. Like the finest works of art, it invites admiration, reflection, and inspiration in equal measure. The world may change, but its beauty remains constant. A moving sculpture that continues to represent the highest ideals of creativity and craft.